What's up, y'all? Hey, am I a gang leader? To me, that's a really dumb fucking question. Am I a gangster? Am I, a cult member? These are like reoccurring themes in my life. I'm not, I thought I was no one. I just, I've been separate from the humans most of my life, even though I live in the 14th largest city in the empire of the world. I, like David Carradine, Kung Fu said, keep your head down, and be like the wind. And that's good fucking advice. But I just lived that way. I didn't need his advice to tell me to be that way. But I never noticed what was going on in the world around me. With other people. I never analyzed. I mean, I watched other people for a while, but I didn't make judgments and begin to analyze, and you have to see repeated patterns. You can't make judgments based upon a few patterns, even though I'm sure we all do, right? But I seen this pattern in my life, and it made me think about it. Like, maybe I should just open up to people. Like a friend even, maybe I should use that term loosely. Maybe I shouldn't exclude people by using it loosely. Hold on. Apparently, people follow me. Like in the real world. I'm not talking about on YouTube. My following here on YouTube is probably a lot bigger than the amount of subscribers I have, because first of all, these other people have large channels now and aren't like the alt-right fucking deception. They talk about stuff that I was putting out there like 10 years ago in comment sections of websites, because I was monitoring these people, and I knew that you wasn't going to be on YouTube very long if you started talking about these people. Especially if you ever put Hitler in your video, say goodnight to your frickin' channel. There's only like 1 or 2 Hitler channels that are around. Say goodnight, though. I put a picture of Hitler smiling with a child up on Facebook once, and that was a 30-day ban from Jewbook. Fucking, because they're garbage. But that's the way it is. This dude is apparently like poison to them. Jesus, and that's what, like, the Jesus thing is like poison to them. Maybe not the Catholics, Wexner funded the Catholics, but I'm getting off topic here. Am I a gang leader, or am I, like, it's actually more rare for people to ask if I'm a Satanist or a cult member and shit. Generally those people end up talking about the Bible with me, so they probably learned something else pretty fast. I'm the only person exposing who wrote the Satanic Bible and where it came from. No one else can even tell you that. They shouldn't even be allowed to talk about Satan if they can't discuss that, because that's a pretty important key to what's going on. But this pattern it started when I was a kid, and I didn't think much of it. I mean, because I hadn't, when you're a kid, it's like your brain just comes on in the world. You know nothing. If, like, all the kids who thought they knew something, like, those weren't the kids scoring good in school, I mean, if your parents taught you discipline, which is what is required to learn some education, you're not going to get educated without discipline first, because you're going to have to learn discipline. I mean, it's a pain in the ass to get educated. But this is like when I feel at 14, I was first brought into the world. I really can't remember much before that. And I definitely couldn't interact very well. There was nothing I had to say, I was a little fucking child. Knew nothing. So when I first started coming into the world, around 14, mentally developing and realizing, you know, something. I mean, I was probably wrong on all those realizations as well, but first starting to trying to make realizations. I mean, whatever the world is as well. Here I go, making assumptions. But when I first came into it mentally, like, one of the first things I experienced was, like, the cops interrogating me, and they were calling me a gang leader and shit. And it was so stupid to me, because I was like in my head, I was like, I'm 14, dude. Like, the kids around me are older than me. Why the fuck am I the gang leader? Like the kids around me are gonna beat me up if I want to be the leader. Like you might want to fight for that. But looking back on that, you know, I realized that that's not how you become. Like, that might be how you become the gang leader, but the Don, the Godfather, he is not that person. You know, he is the one that the other ones will go to, and he never. The family leader, the leader of the families, is different than the family leaders. Like, in all situations, like, but you know, especially when it comes from the Roman families, aka called Mafia, or, I mean, whatever you want to call it. Like, there's groups of people who just hang out together, religions or Mafia or Crips or Bloods. I mean, you know, even the Crips and the Folks come together and shit at the top, and they have, you know, other people who will be at the top, other than the one, you know, you were jumped into the gang by. I'm gonna try to adjust this real quick, and it's gonna fuck up. I'm still messing with this. I mean, this car's got some custom work, and I'm never knowing what I'm gonna do, and this is new. And I haven't secured it twice. I only secured it in one area, so it wobbles and flips. You guys probably don't see most of that because video stabilization. But am I a gang leader? I didn't think, no one ever came up to me and said, hey, you're a gang leader, dude. You're the leader of the gang. And I always assumed, like, I was following other people, although I never really followed. You know, I just hung out with anyone. Just because you learn things from people, I guess, doesn't mean you're necessarily following them or some shit. And no one ever treated me like I was a follower either when I look back at it. It was never that. Like, the people who I would have considered myself following, like, always had me on, like, an equal ground, and they would, like actual gang leaders would fucking talk to me, you know, like, about what's going on in their organization and stuff like that. And that's kind of like, I would say that's a repeated thing in my life, but at the same thing, I mean, I've associated with so many people. I didn't do this normal. I did the normal 9-to-5 shit when I was a child. You know, I first started working when I was a child. Like, my grandma took over a job, and we did the labor because it's illegal. You're a fucking slave. That's another video. I'm gonna make that now that I'm thinking of that, because I forgot all about it. I'm sure it's on my list of 60 videos I got to make. But, you know, like, I started that normal shit when I was like fucking 6 or 8 or some shit, because grandma would sign up for delivering phone books. I couldn't do it because you're a slave when you're a child in this country. Those child labor laws, that's not slavery to put a child to work. That's discipline, honor, and respect for both the child and the parents and the fucking community. And so you know, I have done that normal stuff, the normal everyday slave stuff. People hate it when I start calling it slave stuff, because they start realizing deep inside their head that, yeah, they're a fucking slave. But, I mean, I'm going to call it for what it is and what I see it, man. Like, no rights, fucking labor all the time. You are a slave. That's that. And so what happens? I've done that, but most of the time I have after a while, after being part of the system, which was probably very short-lived, considering how long most people normally do it. You know, I lived a life that allowed me to associate with humans more than others. Even when I would say, you know, I did things like not go to school. But even when I went to school, the teachers would like pull me aside and invite me to their house and stuff. I mean, they knew who I was. You know, on some sort of level, they knew more about me than I knew about myself so far. And they would like associate with me and stuff. And I mean, probably because I was the one doing all the work, and then I was obviously done with all the work before, so they knew something was up. Like, all the teachers generally knew something was up. So, you know, I had this personal, you know, interaction with all these people long before everyone else, and it's got nothing really to do with, am I a gang leader? Just, apparently people choose to follow me, and I've never rose up to their expectations, although they've never seemed disappointed. Apparently, if people are choosing to follow me, I should rise up to that level of taking a leadership role. As much as I don't want to, and as much as I'd like to be a learner my whole life and a student my whole life, I never noticed that everyone was looking up to me. So the cops had interrogated me at one point, and they thought I was the gang leader, and I was living in a black neighborhood, dude. They was like, "You's the gang leader." And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, you fucking idiots? I'm just chilling with my friends and shit. And you know, in my head, I'm assuming my friends was probably doing worse shit than I was. I ain't been no golden angel, but at the same time, destroying this society is probably just the same thing as lending them a helping hand. And I don't know, man. It's like a repeated thing where like I had some girl ask me recently, "Are you a gangster?" And I had some little boy ask me, "Are you a badass?" Like, I guess so. I mean, if you guys think I am, maybe that's what I am, right? But I don't see myself as a gang leader. I mean, hell, reviewing all this stuff and all these people asking me these questions, it makes me think, if anything, I'm the fucking Don, dude. I'm the one the gang leaders come to, you know? I'm the one the preacher would come to for some information. I'm the one the teachers would come to talk. One of my last memories of school, I woke up in the middle of math class, corrected my teacher, and went back to sleep. And I think he was like slightly insulted. So it's like, well, I shouldn't be here. I mean, he probably wasn't. He was a good guy, but I mean, you know how that could be when you're in a position like that and someone corrects you. It doesn't look 1,000% positive. But I've had interaction with all types of people. It's not just like I got a bunch of gang leaders working below me. Some of my friends are working in DC. Some of my friends came from DC to meet me and to hang out with me, you know? Some of my friends came from Trump's to fucking hang out before Trump was famous, which is very suspect. I'm aware, you know, of this whole thing being interrogated when I'm 14 by the police, that I'm being watched. I don't think I'm just being watched by humans. I believe there's other entities watching me, and I believe that's who these Jews are. I believe they are not humans. I believe they are a specter of this world, and they have shape-shifting powers at the very least. They brag of it themselves. Why? Don't take it from me. I'm an anti-Semite, you know. Take it from the Jews themselves. But I'm not a gang leader. You know, I didn't ever do any of this. I didn't ever attempt to be a follower, but it's like, you guys, I don't know about many of you. I mean, some of you seem pretty new to this whole thing, and I'm trying to, like, I was starting out trying to educate advance, because I, like 10 years ago, I was like educating low key, and I see we got some people woke up. So I'm just trying to educate advance now. So I'm not even sure if I can help people who are new to this. You know, you got Johnny Gat who are doing pretty good stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm wondering if these people aren't taking information I put out there a long time ago, that I took from other people, of course. The people who I'm saying now are the Jews and deceiving you. But I didn't refer to them a lot. I mean, I figure if you said David Duke, Kevin McDonald's name, you're going to get banned from a place. So you just quote them directly. You can't do anything else. You're not allowed to. If a Jew doesn't say it, it is not truth. That's like a theme in this world. But I'm not a gang leader, right? They wish I was. I'll tell you, all sorts of people, leaders of all types are attracted to me. Like my dad is like a leader. You know, he led the recycling stuff before anyone had it, before I knew that stuff existed. My dad was doing it all the time. Like, it was like natural to me, but I mean, I didn't even realize it wasn't even in the society yet. It was just my dad doing it. And, I mean, hell, going back, that was a grandpa thing. That was a farm boy thing, to reuse and recycle every product you got that you can, right? I mean, farm people are smart people. I mean, that's just natural to reuse what you can. You can't afford nothing else. There ain't no corner store. Well, there is, but the corner store is 2 miles down the road, and that's the only corner store. I mean, you got the corner store, and then you got the farmer's auction right across the street. And those are like the only 2 stores for like 50 miles. So, you know, you got to reuse what you got when you come from a situation like that. So, and that's probably where my dad got it from as well, was growing up on there. And then he just brought that to the big city. And eventually that stuff caught on. But he's like a leader, you know, in his own way. He's like a low-key underground type person who did stuff and made moves. And he even works for some of these people we're talking about, like some of the biggest leaders. I mean, I'd rather not get into that. I don't want him to become a target, although he's old and probably going to pass eventually. Fuck it. I don't think it really matters. I'd like them to target my dad. That would fill me with so much rage about one of the best people I ever met. Never did anything wrong that I seen. But anyways, I mean, he was kind of like a leader. People like the mega leader, not mega Israel terrorist connection, and the war room, as they called it, Leslie Wexner, the leading Jewish oligarch in Ohio. That was one of the people he's worked under. Like, he'll hire him directly, you know? So, like, I was kind of, like, raised around leader-type people. And leader-type people talk to me. So, just because, like, I get a lot of people in my life who are involved in big things. Whether they're educators or they're businessmen, businesswomen. I mean, that's so rare to meet. And I've met one. I met one who traveled all over, but at the same time, I thought that was a Fed. Either way, if you're a Fed and you keep hanging out with me, fucking clearly, and you can talk to me on an educational level, clearly you're going to get educated by me. Sorry. That person actually did dislike being educated by me when it came to the government, which was weird. Normally people eventually listen. Normally people can listen real fast because I know how to open up the doorways, and you don't just go around, kill them darkies, and look at the Pat tin hat, where got kill him. You open the door to what you know they know, and then it could be done in a matter of hours, but I like to go slower. It's like bringing the fucking, it's like cooling down the frog in the boiling pot, like slowly cooling it down instead of giving it shock by just removing it from the heat real fast. So I do. I've noticed all my whole life, everywhere I go, because I've moved from place to place. I didn't stay, like, I live in the 14th largest city. So when I say I move from place to place in the empire of the world, not of the world or universe, but in the empire of the world. So I've moved around place to place within this city, and I've met all sorts of people. And a continued theme when I go is people like get behind me. You know, they want to hang out with me. They like lots of Jews hang out with me. I'm in learning about them. I'm not sure where that comes from. If that's like a legit thing, or these are people sent into my life to control it for the good or to control it for the bad. But a lot of them, you know, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I haven't done DNA testing, but through my studying, I'm pretty sure a large portion, you know, over 2%, well over 2% of the people coming into my life have become or were Jewish. And they, some of them helped me to a large extent, I believe. It's kind of weird how some of those situations worked. I mean, but it is what it is. I'm just saying, each place I go, like, I always thought like I was following someone, but looking back, especially when I was not around those 4 or 5 people I considered me following, you know, Matthew Amersdorfer. I don't know if I should start naming these people. I don't want them being attacked. You know, Joe Borghese and Jeremy Warner. Looking back, they never treated me like I was a follower. Now, sometimes third-party people would come in and be like, you guys are a lot alike, and it would make me think like they're saying I'm a follower. And it's like, well, maybe it's because I was following them. But at the same time, when we meet, when I'm out with all these people, you know, we are like on the same levels to some extent, but they were just older than me. So I consider myself following them, but that wasn't always the case. If I would be away from those like people, the other people would start following me and stuff. And I never looked at it that way. But I'm not a gangster. I don't prescribe to any of that stuff. I don't think, hell, at this point, forming an organization is probably bad news of any sort in this country. And I don't think all Mafia people have to be bad. I don't think I've met gangsters who have taught me to calm the fuck down. I mean, serious. But I'm not a gangster. I'm not a crime boss. Like I said, if anything, I would label me a Don, and I wouldn't get mad, because, you know what? Whatever people do in their life, some of them come to me and they learn from me and they follow me, and they may just hang out, but they may also, you know, want to get behind me and do whatever. But I'm not, like, you know, affiliated. I've never been jumped into anything. I've never been, you know, got branded. I guess the church. I've been branded by the church. And when I talk about gangsters, I mean all organizations are organizations. It doesn't matter if you call yourself Mafia, Baptist, Methodist, you know, Mormon, Catholic, a member of the Torah followers, whatever. These are organizations, you know, and they're all operated on the same My Familia type family organization, where especially the Mormons are some of the ones right now showing that the most. Like, and I can say that because I've seen my family, some of my family, the first ones in it. Now the followers who eventually followed, I wouldn't consider that the greatest people to follow in the world. But, you know, my brother, he's like really good. The only thing I could ever say about him is I think he gets a little aggressive. Not like really aggressive, but I think because, like, he thinks there's like something. Him and my uncle, one of my uncle that's left on that side, they think there's like something because I don't come hang out with them 24/7. It's like, no, dude, like, you got a life, dude. Like, but other than that, like, he's like one of the greatest people I know. I have to write off this because everyone acts this way. Like I said, I moved around a lot, met a lot of people. I have maybe thousands of people who consider me friend, and we're talking about real life. We're talking about, I was on the internet, back then, but no one else was. And these are like real life people. Like, I seriously can't spend, a bunch of time with everyone I know. I've got to, I'm nowhere. I'm nothing. I'm in such a bad situation. But, by the grace of God, I've been blessed continually to be able to eat when I want. I don't even consider that a priority. I don't think I did most of the time, and I've always somehow had a roof over my head, I mean, really, that's one of my things, is to try to better myself so I could eventually get to be on these levels these other people are. But, my brother was a member of this good group. Apparently, the Mormons must be doing something right, because he's a good person, and the people he married into, they seem like really good people. I'm not around them 24/7 to analyze them further. But I can tell you, when I was around my brother as a child, it's like, he didn't do anything bad. I mean, like, he shot a BB gun when he was like 15 or something. It was like the extent of the bad he ever did, was shoot a BB gun out the window into the forest, and they didn't like that. He's a member of this family unit, but the government would look at the Mormons as a cult too. Every time one of these Jim Jones type people come up and they're like, "Wait, we're getting tired of your bullshit," it turns into, "Oh, you're a cult, you need taken care of, dealt with." But am I a gangster? I'm not a gangster. People ask me that. What people in my life do, that's their fucking business. I don't need to go around talking about this, especially now that I'm involved in this, but I've always been that way. What you do is your business. I can't judge that. I can't judge you for what you're doing. I'm not going to go around using your name and describing what you do to make you look bad or some shit. I got no right to judge anyone. And, hell, if God takes care of me, then these other people, fucking, God's blessing shit out of them for being better than me. But I'm not a gangster, I'm not a gang leader. But if you guys want to look at, going against the system as an organization, as a leaderless and nameless organization, then maybe I should step up to the plate and start being what everybody else wants me to be, That sounds like a good life. Everyone thinks I'm a rock star. Everyone thinks, like, I go to rock concerts and they think I'm part of the band. The people who own the places think I'm part of the band even. And it's like, nah, dude, you say that every time you see me for like 15 years now. But I guess I look different all the time. That's cool. But I'm not, like a gangster. I'm not looking to, I'd definitely be like a family leader. Like, if you want to look at like the Mafia, and I'm not talking about running no Mafia where you run numbers and you beat people for no good reason. But I mean, if you want to look at like families uniting together, like the Borghese family did in Rome, where it eventually led to Front National for the ladies of Le Pen family, destroyed Front National. No, in the Pope fucking loves them, like that's considered a gang, according to our Jewish television. Told us that the Mafia is all gangs, and these are like the My Familia from fucking Italy. This is what it's really about. So I'm not like a gang leader. I had to do a video on this because I've been asked this like repeatedly. Like I said, when I first came into the world mentally at 14, I get fucking taken into interrogation rooms. They're like, we know you're the gang leader. And I'm like, what? There's a gang? Like, I'm white, dude. What are you talking about? Fucking, I knew you're blowing up those high-rise buildings. It's like, dude, I know you're smoking crack now. But I'm not a gang leader. But apparently a lot of y'all want me to be a leader. Lots of people in this world. I don't know about y'all, but lots of people I met, even people I thought I was following, kind of act that way. And it's like, okay, maybe I should step up to the plate. I don't know how to do that. Is there like a book I can read on that shit? But anyways, I'm not a gang leader. I don't consider myself a gangster. I keep people's personal business private at all costs. A lot of stuff that goes on in my life is private. It involves other people that don't need to be involved into my life and the problems I'm involved in, or the situations this will lead to. I just, I got no problem with people doing what they need to, like bootleggers. I consider those heroes back in the day. My ex's family were bootleggers way back when. I consider them heroes of this nation. They get no respect, but that's what they are. They're heroes. But I'm not, I'm not claiming anything. But I wouldn't fuck with me if I was someone else, because you never know. I meet all sorts of people. And maybe that's why some people think I'm a gangster. But I'm not going to tell you to fuck off out of my life just because you're some fucking, large arms dealer or whatever. Like, what have you done? I can't prove that you're a bad person. And if I can, you probably won't be involved around anymore. But I'm not, a gangster. I don't look at myself that way. But maybe I should start being a family leader. And not necessarily like, talking about having children and all that. I'm talking about leading people who are lost and stuff, especially the lost ones. I'm not so much attracted to the ones who claim to already be on the path. And it's like, the other ones definitely are the ones who follow me too. And so maybe I should just be a leader and start setting better examples all the time. But I'm not a gangster. People should stop asking that question. Cops should start fucking stop interrogating me like I am a fucking mob boss or something, because I'm not. But I mean, if you want to press the fucking subject, if you want to be a dick about it, there's no doubt that there's gang leaders out there in the world who might want to fucking discuss that with you. But that's not me telling them to do anything. I've never told anyone to do anything like that. I've specifically told people not to do things before. So, I'm not a gang leader, but just because I have family, real family, people who are chosen to be with me and chosen or trustworthy and all that, and they take up for you and they care for you, that's not a gang. This is a family. But family scares this government. People uniting scares this government. So you are like a fucking gang member. But anyways, I'm not claiming anything. You see me, I'll wear red one day, I'll wear blue another. That's what it is. I'll wear black another. I'm not claiming anything. So, just to put that out there, I think some people really fucking question that. I mean, like I said, I just got questioned like a couple months ago again. But maybe we can still get together and still act like civilized people and get stuff done as a unit. Until then.